Very much for giving me a voice. My name is Gawel Solosky from Bingo University. I will today talk about addition of nanomaterials to reduce emission from diesel engines from bio-waste cooking oil. The work is based on work published in academic output by Professor Siva Sundar from Karnataka University, India. And this is showing addition of titanium oxide because the big trouble of oil biofuels is that produce the emission, the burning of by engines causes big emission of nitrous oxide, one of the hazard material during combustion of oils. More even in the that in the in that in the normal conventional fuels. This is huge trouble because it's showing that maybe biodiesel will replace, but the fact of emission can be worse. The second fact, which is the second issue that about biofuels, is that the replacement is needed, but the burning is highly considered highly ineffective after burning out of half of the tank because the energy density lowers with the reduction of volume of tank, and in half time is very inefficient. Therefore, we need some additional materials. One is Karanha seeds, which are quite good material that will lower nitric oxide. But still, the news. Other ideas is addition of agas lipids, parts as biobutanol to reduce viscosity, because biobutanol and fatty acrylomethyl esters are good are good lubricant and can reduce the viscosity, and therefore this viscosity reduction is very useful. But still, the most trouble is nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, with in case of biofuels. Still, also, we need some addition to normal plants to reduce their effects. And one proposed is using nanoparticles. Of course, there are combination of different of copper oxide, wolfram oxide, and they can reduce slightly, but still not so in some count, especially if the fuel tank is more spent than half of the volume of tank. This is the huge trouble, and because the usefulness of such biodiesel should be smartly enough not to recharge every time when it's half of tank, not fully. Therefore, we should have used nanoparticles. And the Professor Siva Sundar proposed using titanium oxide. They measure titanium oxide to the tested engine to the biofuels and observe how this is useful. The was of base of the biodiesel was made from fried oil, falsification, which was similar to the used by Japanese for flighting the plane, and this but made biodiesel by using extraction of potassium oxide. And this glycerol was distilled and eliminate any metal, so should be fuel. The nanoparticles was mixed the addition of titanium oxide. The titanium oxide doesn't show is anodized routine as should be, so not and there are two additions. The addition was as titanium oxide and biodiesel and diesel mixed 20 to 30, and the other was waste cooking oil biodiesel was in nanoparticles, and showing if nanoparticles and B3 refers to first time, and in this mixture was higher density than normal oil, and flash point was higher, so higher energy. The mixture and addition of slower to only using biofuels mixture. So calorimetric values in case of addition was much higher than, much better that in case of traditional oil in such mixture. And as a result, we're using emissions, and emissions of was in case of particles 5 ppm was in case of engine load was decreased in compared to the normal by 10%, and but in case of carbon monoxide it was also very good, but in case of nitrogen oxide wasn't so well still. Still nitrogen oxide was higher in case of addition than in normal. So we need to find method to still eliminate nitrogen oxide. We using that titanium oxide, reduce the ppm 2 to 5 ppm particles in burning and carbon monoxide emission. But in case of nitrogen oxide, we don't solve this anymore. Time. We have increased production of nitrogen oxide in compared to normal oil, but not such slightly that without only fuel. So we need to find a method to reduce oxide addition. Titanium oxide was successful addition to eliminate carbon monoxide and ultra high particles of 5 ppm harmful particles of burning particles, and this is showing that is also useful. So titanium oxide nanoparticle can be as supplementation, but we need to find method to reduce nitrogen oxide emission. So this is what I just wanted to say for today. Thank you very much for giving me a voice.